Well, good gloomy morning. It's a gloomy September morning, and today I thought I would get started on making my autumn junk journal. And for my autumn junk journal, I usually only do October and November because I almost always do a December daily separate journal for that. So it doesn't have to be super big, but I've just realized that I was going to use this, but I cut it wrong. It's going to be sideways now. So I just noticed that as I started filming. Oh my gosh. The only thing I can think of is to make a really small journal now, or short journal, and just make more pages in it because I like this fabric too much. So this is going to have to be a really small journal. Like, I'm going to have to cut it off right about here. So let's mark that. Isn't that crazy? I didn't even notice that before I started filming. I was messing around with this fabric and everything so much, and I never noticed that the mushrooms were sideways. Oh well. So I got this fabric at Dollar Tree, and I thought that this went well with it. This is a vintage fabric I got at a rummage sale at a church, and now I'm glad I cut it so thick because I'm going to need a thicker spine. Alright, so now I have to measure, well, actually I can cut them both at the same time. Yeah, I'll just put them together, and then I wonder how long that is. Where's my ruler? Okay, so this one is going to be about 6.5 inches long, and I think it was 6. It's going to be like a little square almost. 6, well, not quite 6 wide. It's like 5 3/4 thingy here. And we'll start cutting away. I also need my knife thingy that I use. Let's see. Okay. I want that to be straight as possible. I never get my books perfectly aligned, no matter how much I measure or try to line it up properly. It never comes out perfectly square. So, let's see. I have my little box cutter, and I'm going to have to kind of tilt this a little bit so I can get to it. And let's make sure this is straight. This is straight as possible. Okay, I don't think I'm going to get any better than that, so let's get going. Isn't that funny how we can make such mistakes? We think we're paying such good attention to what we're doing, and then we're not. Well, I kind of did want to go to a smaller journal than my last one, which, if you've been watching, you'll know was gigantic. This was my giant summer journal, and this is going to be my my autumn journal. My autumn journal is the same size as the cover embellishment on this one. Oh well, we're going to have to make it nice and chunky, because otherwise I won't have enough room. Because we got, you know, Thanksgiving in there, so, and Halloween and birthdays and such. So I am just going to have to make a smaller journal in you know, dimension, but fatter in spine. Alright, so now I just have to trim these off. Actually, I need my little greeny thing, and glue that on. Okay, so I'm going to just cut it right about here. My little Dollar Tree fabric cutter. Well, actually it doesn't have to be a fabric cutter, it can be any kind of cutter, I guess. Okay, what? Alright, so I need my ruler, and it's right about there. And this is how I'll cut my fabric. I have discovered that it's better to go in one fell swoop than go like this, which I had been doing, and that did not work out very well. Where's my other piece of fabric here? Let's get that measured. I will also need to cut this down in length, you know, this way. It's going to be too long now. Alright, so we'll put this right about here. Now, let me make sure my mushrooms are correct. Yes. Double check. I better double check from now on, huh? Alright, so I'm going to just go ahead and put that there. Try to straighten that up, make it as straight as possible. Move it over slightly. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. And you know, this part doesn't even have to be perfect, because we're going to cover the inside of it with paper or, I don't know, whatever fabric. I usually do the insides with paper. So, there we go. I'm a little nervous about how small this is, but I really wanted to use this fabric. So, it's just the way it's going to be. It's almost as wide as my, oh boy, it's almost as wide as my whole book. So I really just need to cut it down to about here, this way. If I remember where that is. Get my ruler back, and hopefully I'm in the right spot. It doesn't matter if it overlaps a little. Okay, let's do that. Okay, there's my spine, and I do think I will cut it down just a tiny bit. Unless I'm going to fold it over to have a nice edge. Maybe I'll do that. I'll just press it and fold it over, and then I'll have a nice edge that I won't have to cover up with anything if I don't want to. I'm going to go press my fabrics and we'll be back. Alright, so I got all my fabric pressed. I just folded each side in by about a ½ inch on here. So that'll be nice and neat and tidy. And here are my covers. I want to make sure I have them in the right direction. Pointy tips on the top. And make sure these are both going in the same direction. And now we'll glue. Now I used to use Fabri-Tac, or not Fabri-Tac, I do use Fabri-Tac glue. I almost always use Fabri-Tac glue for just about everything, because most of the time it doesn't seep through that badly, and also it doesn't wrinkle, make everything get wrinkled and warped. But I used to also put heat and bond on these with tissue paper, but I kind of find that an unnecessary step, because I'm only putting glue on the edges and wrapping it. So I don't care if, I mean, glue's not going to seep through the cover that way. I just feel like it was overkill doing that, especially for my own journals. I might do that if I was selling a journal, but since I'm not, I won't do that anymore. It's just an added step that's unnecessary, I feel. So I'm going to cut the corners and wrap it up with a brand new bottle of Fabri-Tac. I have an old one, but it takes so long to get out of this giant bottle now that I'd rather use a new one for this today. And I also have a piece of fuzz from something. Okay, here we go. Get my fabric scissors and just kind of trim the edges a little. Actually, that's probably not even enough. Mark it right here, here. I usually leave about 1/8 of an inch on the corners. I've got that all marked. I'm just going to go ahead and cut those. Of course, this, okay, here's this one. I'll just do one cover together because you don't need to see it a million times. And you've seen me do this many times already. Alright, so, okay, we're going to go like that now and get the glue on. Let's just put some glue right here to start with. And pull that up, down like that. Just hold it a second. Now it is seeping through here, so I am going to get a wipe because I don't want my fingers to be all gunky all the time. Now we're going to do this side next. I do opposite sides first. I don't know if that's the thing that you should do, but it's how I do it. Alright. And I might not need this much glue seeping through. Alright. And this time we're going to have these little corners here. I'm going to put a little dab of glue right here. Just a little dab. Hold the corners in like this. Some people find it easier to hold these corners in with, or fold those corners in with a bone folder, but I find it easier just to do with my fingers. Okay. I'm going to get that in all the way. And then down. And don't worry if your corners aren't perfect, because mine never are either. Sometimes they come out pretty good. I don't want to get glue on the front, so I have to be careful with that. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing. Put a little bit of glue right in here. Like that, and then like this. Okay. So I definitely do get my fingers messy. And that can be a problem sometimes too. That one came out pretty good. There's the corners. Oh, you probably can't see it. Put it in the light. There's a corner. Oh, geez, I'm not even on. There, how about that? There's the corners. Perfect. Alright, now we'll do the other one. And then we'll do the spine. Well, I'll do this one off camera, so you don't have to suffer through that again. I have both my covers done now. They're both going in the right direction. So I'm going to put them on my spine. And I like the seam of my spine to be on the bottom of my book, so that's how I'm going to do that. Basically, I'm going to, I don't know if I want to put glue on it, or on the front and the back. I think I have to put glue on the front and the back. I don't remember what I've done before. Alright, so basically I'm just going to put a little glue on the corner, you know, the sides, edges of my spine, or the edges of my book covers, and glue them to the spine, and then I'll glue this side down. I just need to decide how much of it I want glued. And so I'm just going to put some glue right here on the edge. Hopefully that will be enough. Or I think it should be. I just don't want to make sure I have enough fold on the bottom. We'll do that like that. And then I have to make sure I'm lining up good. I think, yeah, it's going to be this way. We'll do this. Hopefully. I think that's pretty good. I hope. And now I'm just going to do the same. Nice. Okay, so I'm just going to keep gluing on the edge. Probably put this like this first. Do the bottom first, I think. Sometimes I do put a layer of something inside here, like cardstock, or even, like I said before, the heat and bond. But I'm just going to try it this way. See how it works out. It's going to be very flexible. Okay. And down we go. I could actually even fold this up a little. But I don't want to get too fancy and mess it all up. I do feel like I need to put some right across too. I have never folded the edges before on my spine in like this, so it doesn't really seem to be coming through. But there we go. There's my my book. And now I'm going to, here's my cover. I'm going to get some paper to put over this. Well, that'll hold it down more too. I just got to figure out what paper I want. I don't think so. Blue, I don't think so. It's a toss-up between yellow and this one. Yeah, I think my first tendency would be to use the yellow, but I'm going to use this. Let's get that out. And then I'm going to use all these for the pages inside, of which we will have many because I need to have enough. But at least it's only for October and November. Where am I? There. Okay. Get my pencil back. And we'll go like this. Let me cut that down. Alright, and since I made my corners pretty good, I think I'm going to round the edges of my cover, inside covers. Alright, so make sure I do this right. Of course it didn't do it quite right. I always mess up one corner, which is why I don't very often do this. I don't know why. I don't know how I do it. I don't have it in quite right, I guess. Yeah, that one did it too. I'm not going to worry about it. It's perfect. Okay, so we'll do that. Glue that down, and we'll be good to go for our cover. And that'll be the end of this part of the video. I usually do my new books in parts, otherwise it would take so long, and I don't have the time to watch you know, a 45-minute or hour-long video at one go. So I'd rather do it in parts. I don't know if that's good or bad. Would you rather see the whole thing at once, from start to finish in one video, one long video? Or, you know, do it in little chunks of 10 or 15 minutes a piece? Because that's about all I have time to watch at one time. Alright, and there we go. There is the cover, although I don't have the cover decorations on yet, but this is the cover. I have quite a bit of a good spine there. I'm only going to have 2 signatures, one for each month. I think we'll be doing alright. Yeah. So as your junk journal, you know, my 2 signatures are going to be here. And then as you fill your junk journal up, your spine can get bigger. And that's how it works. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you stopped by and took the time to watch my video. Please leave a comment and a like and share and all that stuff. Subscribe if you haven't, and appreciate that so much. And I hope you're doing well and that you're happy and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video, part 2, which will probably be signatures. Look, there's some glue. I always get glue on stuff. I might put a little more glue right down here. Once the signatures are in there, it'll hold everything together anyway. Alright, thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.